Hello, my name is Sierra Branch. I am doing my presentation on opioid epidemic. I'm going to give a brief overview of what my topic is. The definition of opioid epidemic. Opioid epidemic is a very addictive drug that is commonly overused or is misused economically and medically and socially with major consequences such as overdose and even death. Many pharmaceutical industries or people in the medical field want to reassure that to patients that they become more addicted to let's say heroin, or let's say addicted to over-the-counter pain relievers, or hydrocodone, Loratab, things of that nature. That's what they're highly addicted to. More prescribers are issuing out opioid prescription drugs, and also doctors, they constantly writing people who say they have major chronic pains such as joint pain, knee pain, or back pain. They asking for highly drugs, and that is more misused and distributed, and it's become a widespread epidemic, across the United States. And a lot of people are really abusing the medication, so it makes it even harder for people who actually need it in the world for real illnesses to actually get it. Me personally, I used to work in a pharmaceutical. I used to work at Walgreens in the pharmacy, and the strength of trying to get prescriptions in, it has to meet the 30-day mark before you can get another refill. You have to call in the doctor's office to make sure that this is a legit prescription that people are using to get their drugs for. So it's a lot, and I mean a very lot of I should say steps that you have to go through just to get medication. With the opioid epidemic crisis happening, typically claims over maybe 10,000 lives each year and even more. During this epidemic, it clearly, attracts adolescents, middle age, adults who seem to be very vulnerable, and it becomes very challenging as well too. It clearly, I want to say the social issues clearly identifies like lack of education, poverty, lack of purpose, unemployment, even healthcare as well is lacking in those departments too. I want to say over the rural and urban areas, a lot of people don't know that your urban people are really the most people who are getting these drugs. They are abusing them highly. So these are people who are in middle class, people who are rich that get these high-end drugs, and they sell them to people who are in poverty. They don't have any insurance to get any type of medication to help them with their needs. So a lot of people think that the rural people are getting these drugs when actually they're being sold from the people who are in the urban community areas, are selling it to the rural areas. Some people even use it in the rural areas as some sort of income coming within their home, because they cannot get a job. They don't have an education. They're trying to provide for their family, their children, their siblings, their parents, and they use these type of drugs to get their lack of income, some sort of income will come within their home. And a lot of people that are in the urban areas are using these drugs, overdosing, to cope with depression, to cope with things that they're going through in their life. They're using these drugs and overdosing on them. So then you typically see a lot of overdose and deaths within the urban and the rural communities, but they pinpointed more on the rural areas than the urban areas when your high-end drugs are coming from urban areas. A lot of people did not know that. It clearly discussed the frameworks and understanding the issue. you have negative, emotional, motivational symptoms, signs observed during withdrawals from drugs. So you see a lot of people acting erratic, going crazy, not understanding what's going on. They're up a creek without a paddle because they don't have that drug to numb their pain. A lot of people don't want to go to therapy. A lot of people don't want to go to counseling. A lot of people don't want to talk about their issues. But I feel like if instead of using the drugs to cope with your pain, go seek help, go get in some type of program, or go to the health department. The health department are trying to partner up with the NACCHO, and that helps with people who and this is naturally the National Association of County and City Health Officials, and they help with trying to partner up with people who misuse opioids, national emergencies, even threats towards public health. So that's pretty much the overview over my paper, which is the opioid epidemic. Hopefully they can find some ways to help people who are coping with pain, emotional drama, even death happening in their family, to try to seek help instead of overdosing or sending your family through trauma. The NACCHO also have to inform yearly of how many overdose deaths that we have, overdose and deaths that they have yearly, and they have to keep a track of it. So that's one of the programs that's trying to partner up with the health department to come up with programs to try to help people who are addicts or who is addicted to misusing over-the-counter pain reliefs or even using prescription drugs to cope with their pain. So that's pretty much an overview of my paper as far as the opioid epidemic. Thanks.